Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to hi-rez Studios. I'm Gandhi, joined by F. as well as Adonis. Today we're going to be taking a look at everything and anything that revolves around tiebreakers because we have a lot of interesting scenarios that can happen. So the very first thing we'll be taking a look at here is how a tie can work. So the first thing is we're looking at overall match record. So if multiple teams are tied at 3-1 or 4-1, depending on which week it is, well, we do have a solution for that, don't we, Kevin?
We do. So in the sense of a tie, we're first going to be looking at head-to-head records. So if A team played B team earlier in the season, the team that won is going to advance. In the sense of a three-way tie, however, if there's no clear winner, it'll then go to percentage win. So for example, a 6-4 team is going to have a better win percentage than a 7-5 team. Therefore, the 6-4 team would advance.
Even with all those contingencies, we can still wind up with another tie. And in that case, what we're going to do is we're going to have an endless round robin. The first team to get 2 victories is the team that'll earn their right to play at the Spring Split Final.
It can be really, really fun. Now, so before we get any further here, let's go ahead and take a look at the European standings and see why we're even talking about this. As you can tell, it is a very close neck-and-neck race between all of the teams currently in Europe. As you can tell by looking at the graphic here, teams who are in yellow, well, they can still make land. Teams who are in red, a.k.a. just upcoming stars, they unfortunately can't make the land, but let's talk about how each of these teams can actually make the Spring Split Final here in Atlanta, starting off with Trig Esports. Kevin.
So Trig is going to have the most basic path. All they have to do is beat stars. It doesn't matter if they 2-0 them, doesn't matter if they 2-1 them. If they beat stars, they have a 4-1 series record, guaranteed spot at LAN.
Man, that's nice. So they control their own destiny with the win. Moving on to Fnatic. Fnatic, similar situation, Dot.
Nice and smooth, Scott. All they got to do is win. They're going up against London Conspiracy this Thursday. And like I said, they don't have to either 2-1 or 2-0. They take home the victory, and they're going to LAN.
So now we start getting into the tricky parts here, ladies and gentlemen. London Conspiracy can still make land in multiple different ways. The first one we'll take a look at, though, Adonis, is them 2-0ing Fnatic.
As long as they 2-0, no matter the other games' turnouts, they have a higher win percentage than any of the other potential matchups. They're going to make it with a 2-0. Now, if they 2-1, they're reliant on the Dignitas versus Titan game. If Dignitas ends up beating Titan, that forces a 3-way tie between London Conspiracy, Fnatic, and Dignitas. And in these matchups, LC has beat both teams head-to-head. They take it home.
Oof, that is absolutely huge for them. So moving down the way, we're going to touch on Titan, who still has a chance to make this, guys.
Somehow.
The team who got second place at SWC, not having the best first season here, but they still have a chance of making this, Kevin.
Yeah, for sure. So you look at Titan. I gotta reference my notes, right? They need to force a 4-way tie, right, Dot?
Yeah, their goal right here is to force a 4-way tie between themselves, London Conspiracy, Trig Esports, and Fnatic. And what will happen is Titan has to do 3 things in order to secure their berth. They have to 2-0 over Dignitas, not just win, but they have to sweep the series. They also have to hope that upcoming stars sweeps Trig Esports.
That's a hard one.
That's the real tough one to really depend on. And in addition to that, London Conspiracy has to beat Fnatic on Thursday. So one more time, Titan themselves have to sweep the series against Dignitas. Upcoming stars have to sweep the series against Trig. And London Conspiracy just have to win against Fnatic. So 3 separate things have to happen in order for Titan to be able to go to our Spring Split Final.
It's not likely, but it's definitely possible.
Yeah.
It's Europe after all.
It's Europe.
Yeah,
Who knows?
It's Europe. But last but certainly not least is Team Dignitas here. They can still make the land as well. Kevin, break it down for us.
So Team Dignitas, they aren't reliant on games. They're reliant on winning. So what has to happen is they need to force a tie between them and Trig Esports. This happens with Fnatic beating London Conspiracy, which means they qualify. But then upcoming stars has to beat Trig. This forces them into a tie. But because Dignitas beat Trig in the first week of the Spring Split, they would take the spot.
Wow.
Yeah, so they're still alive here. The head-to-head record prevailing at the end of the day here. That's always awesome. So now in North America, things are a little bit easier here as we go ahead and take a look at the standings here. Cloud9 3-1, TSM 3-1, AFK 3-1, Denial Esports 2-2. They're all in yellow. They can still make land. Unfortunately, Cognitive and Enemy Esports can't make land. But let's just clear it out the way right now. TSM, the easiest road possible.
For sure. Out of, I think, all teams. All they need to do is win 1 game against Enemy Sports.
That's not a series.
Yes. Yeah.
That is one single individual game.
Based on the win percentages, no matter the outcomes of the other games, they will make it with 1 game.
Nice, smooth and easy. Going up against Enemy Esports, pretty good chance that they will take a game. Moving on into the second place team here. Well, they're tied for first, but overall, they're the world champions. Cloud9, 3-1. Their destiny's in their own hands, Dot.
Yeah, Cloud9 and AFK will play on Sunday, and essentially this game is really one of the bigger ones because Cloud9 needs to beat AFK in order to go to LAN, and vice versa as well. You know, AFK has to beat Cloud9, so whoever wins this match is really going to secure their way to LAN.
For sure. So, as Dot touched on Sunday, we will have Cloud9 versus AFK. The winner of that will make LAN. Period. That is it. So Sunday, that is a humongous game for us. Now, moving down the way, Denial Esports. They are still alive, Kevin, in a crazy scenario of numbers. I know you've gone cross-eyed multiple times. Break it down for me,
I kind of messed it up the first couple times I looked over it. But much like how TSM has the easiest path of any team, Denial actually has the hardest time. So I got to look at my notes for this one. Enemy Esports has to 2-0 TSM. AFK has to 2-0 C9. Does not work the other way around. And Denial has to 2-0 COG. What this does is it forces a three-way tie at 7-5 in games.
Oh boy.
And because they've all taken games off each other, head-to-head is a wash. And then we go into the endless round-robin play. So not only do they have everything has to work in their favor, then they have to play in a round-robin.
That is going to be chaos if that happens. Now, TSM losing 0-2? We'll see what happens here. But so, guys, that's going to do it for us here from the Tiebreaker Breakdown. Drop the comment. Let us know what you think about this because I'm assuming we're going to have many more as this year progresses. Take it easy.
Hey there, Smite fans. Welcome to the final week of the Smite Pro League. It is Thursday, and we're going to kick things off here with a big-time matchup between LDNC and Fnatic.
Yeah, this one's incredibly important. Both fighting for their LAN lives here. Fnatic looking to close this one out, head to Atlanta, maybe win some money. They're the LAN monsters. I mean, these guys always perform. Right?
Yes.
But LDNC have been known to cause some upsets.
So LDNC needs to win 2 games straight here, basically. At a 2-1 where they win, there's some situations still, or some scenarios, I'm sorry, that get them into where they want to be. Let's take a look at the standings here and try to talk to it a little bit. But basically, the storyline you should be looking for here is London Conspiracy needs the 2-0 Fnatic in this set to secure their spot for LAN.
Yeah, that's right. Titan, 1 win behind London Conspiracy puts them in a very tight position. Team Dignitas, actually a loss up, still has a few chances as well, but their fate is in the hands of many other people.
That's right.
It's going to be awkward.
Titan probably with the hardest path to still make it to LAN.
Yeah.
They need Upcoming Stars to 2-0, they need LDNC to 2-0, and they need to beat Dig 2-0. So they probably got the hardest path. Let's take a look at our schedule for this week, guys, as we will be deciding who joins us in LAN and who gets an automatic bid into the next split of the Pro League. Today we'll be going over Fnatic and London Conspiracy out of Europe. That's coming to you next in a best of 3, followed by Team Solo Mid versus Enemy Esports from North America. For the rest of the weekend, you got the Trig Upcoming Stars match, Denial versus COG, Titan versus Dig, and Cloud9 versus AFK. Probably that premier match this weekend is going to be that NA matchup to determine who's really the powerhouse between those two.
Because after our first set, right, after we check out Fnatic, Team Solo Mid needs to win 1 game against the
If they win a game, they're in.
That's it.
They're a lock.
And then it's just Cloud9 versus AFK for LAN.
That's right.
It's awesome.
Europe a little bit more complicated overall. Let's take a look at Fnatic as a squad here while we discuss a little bit more about their hopes for LAN. And, well, all they need to do is beat this London Conspiracy team.
Yeah, I absolutely am in love with this team this season. You know, people kind of doubted the Zyros and Captain Twig's switch, mid-jungle,
Sure.
but it has been so strong. They had a little bit of growing pains, but, I mean, Twig has been a monster. I think Twig is the only jungler right now worldwide that's holding a candle to Andy.
His God pool seems pretty limited, though. We've only seen him on a couple of gods so far.
That's
so
fair.
We'll see how it works. We'll see what London Conspiracy is able to put together in the picks and bans and see if they can get an edge there. And, well, you got to think a lot of it starts with that guy in the 5th position here, Suntouch, who's going to be, kind of the vocal soul of this team.
Yes.
Emilzy, kind of a cerebral player. Shaggy Shank, just known for being ridiculously accurate.
Really good.
And Snakeskin has had a lot of success as well here so far in the Pro League.
I would love to see a tier ban coming out from Dignitas. If you're going to take shots at this team,
Yeah, it's got to be him.
avoid the meta, just hit Snakeskin.
Yeah.
I mean, you take away his God pool, he's going to crumble. I mean,
I
that's what we've seen.
like Tier and Rob and against this team. They seem to really, really favor extended team fights, and I try to take that away from them. Would be my thought.
For me, it's Emilzy. How is he doing? And, we want to hear from you guys as well. Join the conversation. Tweet at us with hashtag SPL.
Oh, man.
My tweet would say something like, is Emilzy going to take 15 kills from Xbalanque today? Hope not.
Yeah. I don't know. For me, it's there's a lot of storylines here, but the dual lane Shaggy Shank versus Real's long-standing EU,
Yes.
one of the best really rivalries in that position in Europe. So definitely watch that one, guys. Watch and win though with us here for the big plays. If you are watching in chat, we will be giving you basically codes to put into chat to enter into the giveaways. Anytime there's a first blood, triple kill, quadruple, pentakill, or a game ends, those will be entered by putting a hashtag and some kind of word into the chat. The admins in the chat channel will be able to tell you all
Where's
about
the
it.
no-scope one? We have no-scopes now.
Do we?
Dude, yeah, it's like an actual accolade in the game. If you kill someone with no vision or something.
That sounds like Scott's doing.
No, I'm down. Whatever.
Yeah, you're about it?
Shouts to no-scopes.
Okay.
All
Okay.
right, okay.
Kills without having vision. We'll
Okay,
guarantee
cool.
that no-scope accolade that all of you so desperately want.
I mean, I need it.
Yeah, 360 no-scope.
Oh,
You
wait.
spinning around.
Is this?
The P's and B's
this-
are underway.
P's and B's.
All right, it's Fnatic versus London Conspiracy. And the first picking and banning position is Fnatic, and they're going to get rid of a Hunbot. On the other side is London Conspiracy with the follow-up ban. They'll also have the 2 picks off the bat here after Fnatic's first pick. And it's Hunbots and Thor, so Jungle Initiators.
I'm pretty surprised to see a Hunbots banned so early, especially coming out from Fnatic if they do have first pick. I mean, Thor is most likely going to get taken away. They could have opted for that, so they might be looking for another role here with the early picks. Bastet's still on the table, but Sylvanas gets taken away.
Sylvanas take so that's kind of Fnatic's indicating that they don't want to get really carry plus Sylvanas drafted in the first 2 positions. It looks like. Sylvanas just pairs so well with so many of the push deficient hunters that are kind of currently tend to be very good at god killing in the season 2 meta. And he opens up some god pool possibilities. They're going to ban Hercules as well, who's done exceptionally well in the Pro League so far. Maniac, as you see though, he's touting Hades as his top god as their solo laner.
Hades is very, very strong, but Athena makes it through picks and bans and gets picked up
Yeah, she's
quite quickly.
instantly going to get snapped up there. Now the question is, Snakeskin, it's lying to you. His top god isn't Boxer. It's definitely Tier.
Yeah,
These are more top performances is what you're seeing there.
Right.
Although I would say Snakeskin's definitely known more for the that warrior frontliner play. Most played, right? It's basically what you're seeing.
So option here to London Conspiracy. Scylla going to be locked in very, very early.
Wow.
So that's going to be for Arrow.
That's really surprising to me.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of big picks on the table still. Scylla very strong.
Well, and there's not really great natural predators to Scylla, so it's okay to draft her this early. Like, what are you really going to draft to blow her up? To me, it's probably, I take the Agni.
Whoa. Xbalanque coming in very early as well. Dynamic still on the table here. Cupid and Anhur both available for the counter matchup.
I like Anhur Agni here. Raw Agni, Raw Anhur, something like that.
Oh, and Medusa is not available.
No, but Bellona is.
Bellona is available. but
Bellona.
Have you seen Athena Medusa yet?
Yeah.
Lord in heaven.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
For 2 gods that are diametrically opposed in their lore, they synergize quite well on the battlefield.
The teamwork is real.
Well, 3rd pick from Fnatic here to round out their first picking phase.
I mean, this is Bellona. I mean, she should have been banned, let
Yeah?
alone gotten this
I don't
far.
think she's going to be picked.
She is, like, in my opinion, like, bar none, the best jungler.
Really?
Like, she's crazy good.
You know, I think that the real thing you have to look for on Bellona is whether or not at the pro level she ever actually gets her 2 off. That ability is very easy to interrupt, and that's kind of the name of the game.
I'm a Scourge boy.
Yeah.
You know, 16 feet with heavy hammer, like you walk at a speed buff and go, I'm going to take that.
That's right. Very, very gank dependent, though, also with that build, right? But speaking of gank dependencies, it's Tier to bring a lot of gank potential over to the side of London Conspiracy, looking to set up those dank ganks, if you will.
You all right?
I just wanted to say that so bad. Tier Scylla, obviously, well, it's an execution kind of floor requirement for London Conspiracy. There's a very real possibility that Tier will be pushing people out of I'm a Monsters. There's also a very real possibility that Arrow's Scylla will be able to kind of predict where those those Fearless Chains end up and secure kills. It's it's communication question mark for London Conspiracy.
So Bastet gets banned away by Fnatic, and an Aphrodite ban coming out from LC. A shot to Maniac there. In fact, the second shot to Maniac as Hercules got banned away before. Option here to London. They still need, it looks like, their jungler and probably their support, and it's going to be Geb.
Yeah, some AoE control for London Conspiracy is going to help out a lot, but they are still pretty much trumped in that category. The Tier brings a lot of CC to the table, but it's not going to be really involved maybe until the 15-minute mark or so. In any meaningful way, maybe an early rotation might snag a kill, but Athena, Poseidon, Anhur, just great space controllers. The shifting sands from Anhur, Whirlpool from Poseidon, obviously, and Athena between the taunt and the shield wall, able to control a lot of space. And well, they're going to get something that really synergizes well with a lot of control on their side, and Nemesis, very agile, able to move around these fights and really take advantage of the big radial slows out of the Anhur and Poseidon especially.
I really like the Nemesis pick, especially as a counter to Tier, because, you know, we're talking about London. You know, I said in the beginning they should be hitting Tier, you know, hitting Snakeskin, taking away his God Pool. This isn't going to limit his laning phase, but his endgame has been just almost completely stripped by this.
Yeah, now, the Nemesis Vamana combination means that nobody is safe, and it also kind of discourages London Conspiracy from trying to take another kind of front-lining presence for their jungle. This will basically must be an assassin, I would say. And kind of the big question mark for them is what the hell synergizes with this team? Kali available still in the pool?
I was thinking Kali.
Just to take it late. Hey, they're gonna take the Bay.
Yes.
All right, so we're gonna see Bellona coming out for London Conspiracy here.
I do not want to see, under any circumstances, Bumba's mask on this character.
No? You're a Death Stole boys?
No, it is
Bluestone?
heavy hammer.
Ah, the heavy hammer start.
16 feet over 12. Make sure you will slow them and keep your distance while increasing your own movement speed while attacking.
That being said, it's Nemesis, Vamana, both very good at level 1 for escaping ganks.
Nah, kill them.
Nah, dash or clear the path? Come on.
I mean, if they get clear the path and dash at level 1, they're going to have bigger trouble
That's
than
true.
Bumba's mask.
The jungle, or I'm sorry, yeah, that early laning is going to become very problematic. For those of you that this is your first time seeing Bellona, this is the first game actually that she's eligible for competitive play.
That's right.
And she's a kind of defensive warrior in terms of really what her kit passively adds to her. And then she kind of play style is going to be walk people down with in-hands, extended engagement she's very good at. Also fairly good at kind of dictating where the fight can take place with her ultimate. It leaves a large radius that gives massive buffs to friendlies. So
Not to mention it's a stun. Like,
yeah, and the stun on application. But it should help out a little bit in what likely will be extended engagements versus Athena, Nemesis, Vamana, all very good re-engagement based characters. Poseidon quite fast as well. Versus a little bit more burst-oriented team at London Conspiracy, and that's maybe the potential downside of the Bellona pick. But let's go and introduce the squads, Brandon. Fnatic's going to be the blue squad in this one. We're riding along with Maniac as the Vamana solo laner. It'll be Twig in the jungle as Nemesis. Zeros will be your mid lane Poseidon, and that leaves Badger and Real CX as your dual lane Athena and Anhur. Their opponents today are London Conspiracy on the top side of the minimap and the right side of your spectator UI. It is Snakeskin on the purple tier that you see here. Suntouch in the jungle as Bellona. That leaves Arrow in the mid lane as Scylla, and Emilzy plus Shaggy Shank in your dual lane as Xbalanque and Geb1.
So, you know, going back to Bellona, something that not a lot of players have found late game is that you cannot be in Scourge stance anymore. Late game is like 100% must be ready to go in shield stance, unless you're trying to keep distance. Shield is so much damage reduction, way more than you're going to get from the healing from Scourge. So Suntouch has a lot of work to do here, considering the fact that this is not a known meta, right? I mean, like, she is literally, at this point, brand new to the competitive scene. Like Bart iterated before, this is her first opportunity here in the Pro League.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how she ends up. She gets a little bit of a gift in that first wave in the solo lane. No real harassment coming out. Suntouch is going to look to try to make something happen here earlier rather than later, although at level 1, this guy doesn't have the best gank potential. She does have a slow to throw out, but it is just going to be a bit of clear with the Scourge and get on her merry way of kind of, and you can see, fairly effective as a frontliner there to block some of those Poseidon in hands and heal herself right back up.
And that's what she'll do very, very well. She was hit with a little bit of the nerf, hit by the nerf bat a little bit after she came out.
Yeah.
And that mainly just hurt her mid game. Her end game still incredibly strong. Her early game still probably the best in the game, probably the best level 1, level 2. But her mid game, and I'm talking between like her mid game, I'm seeing like 7 to 14. She's going to be pretty underwhelming. So it's going to be up to Suntouch to really rely on his team, get the stuns off, and communicate with Arrow to get things done. Otherwise, it's just going to be Captain Twig doing what Captain Twig does best, and that's getting ahead and staying ahead.
Yeah, one thing to definitely keep your eye on here from Suntouch is whether or not he's going to get to level 5, and it looks like he absolutely will before that that first mid camp spawn. That's kind of maybe one of the downsides to this god. As you mentioned, her mid game not that strong, and if you don't have that ultimate available for that first engagement at the mid camps, it kind of goes to naught because you're not going to take many more team fights for the next 4 or 5 minutes after that, maybe 3 minutes later at the second camp spawn. And really what it's great at is securing extended engagements for your team. So if Suntouch isn't able to get these ultimates down in a timely manner around early team fights, you may see her fall off a little bit and not have that advantage going to mid-game. And as you mentioned, she could fall off there.
Oh, absolutely. Now, I'm looking over towards the left side, where the duo lanes are going down. And with this, we haven't really talked about ShaggyShank versus Reels in terms of Xbalanque versus Anhur. I mean, a lot of early game pressure, you know, Reels, Badger, you know, they could really go for the damage here, but for some reason they're granting Emilzy and Shaggy a lot of license to farm safely.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be somewhat trepidatious around the slow from Xbalanque plus a knockup from Geb. It could do more damage than you expect in a short order. Branching Bull is adding some bonus damage as well, but yeah, I agree with you. They could definitely be bullying this lane a lot more than they are. Mid camp's coming up, left side. Will go to Fnatic, right side of London Conspiracy, a split. The Bellona ultimate not factoring into this first engagement. And well, kind of like, maybe you should just not skill it at level 5. And, you know, if you're not looking to take the fights, it doesn't really grant you that much except for a decent escape, but you have that built into your kit out of your shield dash. So
yeah,
it's a little bit of an interesting trade-off here.
So, speaking of interesting, I saw Emilzy recognize that he wasn't getting the left camp, so he just rolls out all the way to the right camp, making no contest and kind of just taking the experience, even though it wasn't needed. A little bit curious for the support to be leeching
He's Watcher's
away.
Gifts boys, though. I mean, like, that's his thing.
Fair.
That's his, like,
That's
his
fair.
calling card, honestly. Emilzy really the premier support that, well, supports the Watcher's Gift. And, well, it factors in that situation right there, right? If you're going to split camps, and you shouldn't really be there necessarily because you're trying to hyperfarm someone else, well, you're going to be a little bit more efficient.
Well, I mean, he is ahead. I mean, take a look at Geb right now. Actually, no, he's behind by 20. Oh, I didn't expect that. I guess that has to do with the fact that the tower is taking away some of his gold. Anhur is pushing pretty hard. But ShaggyShank, level 6 right now, comparatively to Reels at level 5, but he is almost leveled up. But it's strange to see
Well, you'd expect
Shaggy
him to
with
be ahead, but there's 2 Watcher's Gifts, right? There's a Watcher's Gift on the side of the Athena as well.
That's fair.
So you would, you know, without her kind of quote-unquote failed rotation, she got a couple more credits for the creep, so.
So I'm looking at the top here, Sun Touch and Arrow, beautiful rotation here from LDNC. Not only getting the speed buff a little bit behind, actually not that behind at all considering how long it took Twig to do it, but they also got the small camps as well, right off the cooldown timer. I mean, really, really smart rotation. But, you know, we're 4 minutes in and we still haven't seen First Blood.
How about 50 CS on the Poseidon? Or 48, I'm sorry, to the, what was 28, now 32 on the side of Arrow.
Well, I mean,
Arrow
it's Poseidon versus Scylla,
Yeah,
right?
but
I mean, this is the reason I was like, wow, they picked Scylla pretty early.
Yeah, I mean, so 16 last hits. It's roughly, let's say it's about 30 gold a kill, and you get a third bonus on that. So, you know, it's like 8 more gold per creep about 16 times. So it's maybe about 100 gold ahead, strictly off CS at this point.
Plus, she did lose some to the tower, but she's maintaining a better rotation route. I mean, look at the way that she's been around the map. The buffs are getting taken faster. She's working with people besides the jungler, which is something we're not actually seeing from Badger. Badger is basically just sticking with Reels, which might wind up hurting Reels in the long run, as there is a small experience difference.
Very early ick file coming out for Bellona here, so indicating that London Conspiracy wants to fight.
Yeah, they want to fight now.
But who are they going to fight with? It's kind of Scylla and Bellona. Maybe Geb adding a little bit of extra CC, but they're so reliant on Scylla's damage until Tier is kind of level 15 or so and has max base
Without
damage
the
out of
heavy
his
hammer, she's
fearless
not
ring.
sticking to anybody.
That's
I mean,
right.
They're going to run away from her. I mean, even if she gets those stacks off, she'll have to jump back in with the shield dash, throwing the Scourge onto cooldown, and then she's going to have to jump, right? She's going to have to use Eagle's Rally really early. It's going to put her in a weird spot.
Yeah, you'll need the Scylla follow-up to really secure any kind of kills. And
So really, it's not on Suntouch, it's completely on Arrow.
that's right, and Suntouch here has opted into his beads on top of his hog, so he's committed his actives right side. Camp's getting cleaned up by Fnatic left side. This time goes to London Conspiracy. They had a power and they decided to switch which camps they were getting this time around.
Real's actually coming over to try to defend it too. You know, making the attempt for both camps for his team, but Shaggy rotates over as well. But Reals didn't lose any gold or experience for that. Really good play.
Yeah, the real great kind of sense for the timings around the game. And,
For me, that's been a really big thing in Season 2 is rotating is so much harder in this season because experience, it just seems like it's valued more. Leveling up has been such a big run this season, much more than it was last time, specifically because of the health gains. A lot of the burst damage, it feels, has been toned down a little bit, especially from the mages. And with the lack of Aegis, that extra health just makes you so much harder to kill.
About a 20 XPM advantage on the Bellona over the Nemesis. Bellona continue to kind of climb the ranks here as the camps respawn, but still at the top of your XP farming charts is going to be Vamana and Poseidon. No big surprise in the Vamana. Being in the soul lane, he's actually pretty much neck and neck with the Tier, but Poseidon, based on the back of those CS again, pulling ahead of Arrow more and more.
I can't believe that Maniac is out-farming Tier as much as he has been. Maniac going to take a trip back to the base there. He has the Heavy Hammer. He's got Runeforge Hammer now, starting up into Boots. Still, no actives, however. Both solo laners taking the smart route and not going into teleport.
Yeah, and Snakeskin's been pretty much the tier.
Yeah.
In the Pro League so far. Maniac handling it well on Vamana. Although, to be perfectly fair, it's a matchup that you'd have to play pretty goddamn poorly to lose as Vamana.
That's fair. I mean, insanely safe clear. What's not safe is possibly this Gold Fury. We do see the sands are on cooldown, but it looks like it will be washed out completely. No team really losing any gold or experience there. Mid lane, it looks like Arrow might have lost one creep, but the attempt.
Yeah, you know, and more often than not, that's kind of to sniff out if there's any wards in that area. To kind of see what kind of rotations are coming up from London Conspiracy based on starting the Fire Giant, or even just to get a little bit of lifesteal for young Anhur.
Oh, Snakeskin taking some damage there. Nice combo by Maniac. Just sticking to him the whole time, using the Heavy Hammer to lock him down. He places a ward down for possible invades, but honestly, I don't think he has much to worry about. Unless they hit an absolutely ridiculous, like, Blink Fearless, you know, if he goes back and gets Blink, or if the Eagles Rally stops his clear the path. Otherwise, I mean, they have no way to kill him.
Yeah, I mean, basically, if the Nemesis was on the other team, there would be some pressure on the Vamana, but Nemesis advantage, and Nemesis is basically the best god in the entire game for killing tanky targets, especially as solo laners from the jungle.
Or at least helping.
Right, well, not great at doing it herself, but if you have a Nemesis involved in a two-man gank onto a warrior, you're more likely to get it than not, it seems, versus many, many other junglers. For example, a Hunbot's not enough damage necessarily in the early stages, versus that Nemesis ultimate is a pretty much free kill on anything that has protection, because you can just run it down and dive it eventually. Sun Touch, he's going to counter ward here. He's played a lot of this game to find that ward and hit it successfully.
I can't believe he didn't pull the Gold Fury there.
Yeah. But in classic EU
over.
fashion, Brandon, it's 9.5 minutes, no first blood, no objectives, no towers, just farm boys.
Last night we had like a fun 1v1 assault tournament. And during the Warrior matchup, it's like impossible to win.
Yeah.
First blood happened at 23 minutes, and someone made the comments like average EU game. We know how to deal with this.
Well, third camp spawn here. Looks like it'll be split yet again, so no one really pulling ahead. Both teams really close. About 300 gold is the advantage for London Conspiracy, but that just hops back as the mid camps go down. It's about 100 gold separating the teams right now. Crazy close, but the experience does lend itself to London Conspiracy. They've gotten 1,000 more XP out of this map so far.
That's curious to me, considering it's Scylla versus Poseidon. Like, Zero should not be having anywhere, or rather, he should be far, far ahead in terms of gold and experience over Scylla, but he's really not doing that poorly. Speaking of Arrow, I mean, it's not an easy matchup, right? You can't go too far forward because the Whirlpool's going to stop you from being able to use your Sentinel out from the Kraken, which means it forces your I'm a Monster in awkward places. And he can't clear the wave early. I mean, now, level 12, he's going to blow it up, right? But no, so we got a Doomorb coming out from Poseidon.
Yeah, kind of a little bit of disrespect towards the Bellona.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's a god without an escape, just a bunch of run speed, and he's kind of saying, well, with a Bellona, it's really unlikely that you can gank me. You're going to need Geb as well, and if he's missing from the solo or the dual lane, I'll just play a little carefully.
Scylla not going for Doomorb. Now, he has the Lost Artifact, but is instead going into Soul Reliquary, so I'm very surprised to see him. He's kind of gesturing towards a Book of Thoth.
Yeah, that's right. And, but I mean, not to mention that it's a Poseidon Doomorb, second item after Boots, comes up pretty late. Maybe not as cost-efficient as you would have liked in this position. I mean, he'd be only 800 gold or so from a Warlock stash at that point, minus the Lost Artifact start, so...
But he'd also be 40, 50 stacks down.
That's right. So it's kind of this trade-off where he could have had the Doomorb done, and be sitting on Boots 2 now, but instead he's going to have about half-stack Doomorb for what looks to be an engagement about to pop in front of the Gold. Fury reels, connects the 1-2 combo onto Emil's, who's taking a lot of damage, and there's the power of the Nemesis ultimate right there. But here comes Bellona. You can see that big red ring, indicating where she's getting the bonus power. Reels, he's going to beads and leap away there, go for the pin. No Poseidon follow-up, though. A couple of Trident hits, plus the Anhur enhance may have been enough to secure that kill, but it looks like now with the Snakeskin rotation, Maniac's going to be forced to ultimate here as well, Brandon. That'll mark the end of the engagement, at least for the moment, and it's a 1-for-1 trade with the first blood going the way of Fnatic.
But, they trade out support, and they don't get the Gold Fury off of it. So, I mean, even with that, it's hard to say that Fnatic didn't really lose that fight. They gained a decent amount of gold over it, but London Conspiracy gets the experience. They get a better target with Twig losing some farm there. Overall, not a huge win in either way, but I would definitely give that one to London.
For me, the big thing here is that Fnatic dumps a lot of resources into killing off a support and is unable to capitalize with an objective off of it. Instead, gets counter-killed. So they lost kind of a momentum opportunity there for themselves, which...
Not sure what happened with Zeros. Like, you see the rotation come over, Bellona goes in, she gets the kill onto Twiggy, and then Anhur turns around, 180 or no scope, Reels hits the beautiful impale, right? Knocks him to the wall, and then Zeros just backs off, right?
I'm pretty sure that he dumped all of his spells kind of to the right side of the Gold Fury there, and then when he made the rotation back around, he basically had nothing. And so it made the call to fall back with Anhur there. I don't know. And now it looks like that Fnatic wants to force a Gold Fury. But Reels did use his beads one in that last engagement to get out of that Bellona. It's a 3-man Cataclysm now. 3-man knockup as well, but he's going to get his protection zapped. Here comes the I'm a Monster, but it's too late.
Oh, Badger chose the wrong way, though. He's going to get cleaned up. That'll be a 1-for-1, but with Fnatic getting the Gold Fury there's no doubt in anyone's mind, right?
Yeah, it's a great trade. Suntouch is going to try to pressure Twig out of the jungle here. Oh, look at the combination of spells here. But moving back away is Twig using that double dash. Tier, is he going to be in range to close it though? Maniac going to slow down the Bellona and use his ultimate as well. Snakeskin, he's coming in, but there is the shield.
Oh my god.
And not much Snakeskin's to do. We're going to give a little bit of HP back now, in fact, the way of Nemesis. Xbalanque's rotated over as well. He's going to be forced to use his Rising Jaguar to get out of the sand, and Maniac will clear the path forward, finding a knockup, eating a Sikkim, but there's an Athena ultimate on his back. They're going to be able to secure a kill now on a Snakeskin as well. Over the wall he goes, but there'll be a dash available into a taunt, into a shield wall. One more in hand from the Anhur's going to do it. No, he pushes him away with the impale. Oh, no. Fnatic, they're going to give one back, but they get a kill onto the over-pursuing Bellona in that scrum. And now at 14 minutes have built themselves a tiny little lead after that Gold Fury and subsequent engagement.
Really great stuff there by Fnatic. The bait from Twiggy was absolutely massive. And I can almost hear him in my head going, baited, right? Like he dives under the tower, he hits the Retribution shield, making sure he doesn't go down to the power cleave, and Snakeskin's just like, guys, I made a mistake here.
Snakeskin's like, guys, I'm so glad that I finished my Rune 4 chamber before fighting. So it's, again, a trend that we've seen more and more of, Brandon. It's the Blink 1 on Scylla early on. In fact, she had this like at about level 6 or 7 in the laning phase.
See, I love early actives. I am a huge proponent of get these things online and make sure you don't die, right? Secure kills with them. Hell yeah. He's going to spend 1,200 gold. I'm 100% behind if it weren't for the fact that he has a Soul Reliquary. Like, you can't delay Book of Thoth anymore.
That's right.
The entire fight was just lost because your I'm a Monster tickled them.
Yeah, not to mention, early Blink doesn't really synergize with the general idea of building a Book of Thoth. Right, you're like, I'm gonna buy this 3,000 gold item, and then I'm gonna farm it for 8 minutes.
Well, I mean,
doesn't really lend itself to I'm gonna be a Blink initiator.
But Book of Thoth isn't like the same as Warlocks where you need the stacks. Like,
true.
It'll help. It'll give you some damage, right? But it's not like this. Oh my God, I can't ever leave lane, guys. Sorry about this. Like a Heartseeker, right? But
sure.
I mean, I do agree. I mean, she's building haphazardly. She's building against herself. And Arrow in this situation has put himself in a situation where he doesn't really have damage and he doesn't really have defense.
Yeah, he doesn't have much to work with here outside of, well, a desperate need for follow-up out. You know, if his team initiates, it's so much on the back of the Scylla, and as you mentioned, it's just a little bit of a damage anemic build here.
And you compare that to Zyros, right? I mean,
yeah, Doom Orb.
Yeah,
he's doing damage.
43 stacks. He's got Shoes of the Magi. Next up looks like Gem of Isolation. Not only is he going to have a lot of damage, but he's going to have a lot of control as well. Also, a lot of trouble for Shaggy Shank.
A little bit of miscommunication over here on the left side for Fnatic.
On
her leaping back as the Athena ultimate comes in. He was fairly low, but Captain Twig takes the rotation. Can't get much out of it, but does expend the ultimate from Nemesis there. So now with a 60-second cooldown on that ability, Milzy can be a little bit more fast and loose with the way he plays it because he's not going to have that potential blow-up situation out of the Scylla, I'm sorry, out of the Nemesis opportunity there. Right side camps, they are up. They were counter-warded by Vamana.
Yeah, now, he might lose his tower for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna.
He's gonna. Yeah, so, well, it's a big fight happening over here at the camps, though, as Milzy's going to avoid the bulk of that Poseidon ultimate. Now it's Badger that gets his attention turned on him, but he's able to dash away. Following up as a Scylla, but body blocked out by the Poseidon. Did that second hit? In the backside it did, just barely, but no crush follow-up. And Badger's going to be okay. Captain Twig quite low as well.
Really threading that needle there, just taking one sidestep from Zyros is a chance to throw the Sikkim out, and he lands it. That was not an easy shot. In fact, we talked about last week how it's apparently the slowest moving projectile in the game, and he hit it at max range through another person. Like, that's kind of nuts. Good shot. Shame it didn't finish. It's a shame he spent 1,200 gold into his actives and doesn't have that Book of Thoth online.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it comes down to,
That's
right?
right. Yeah, I mean, Control Winter Gold, he's there.
He hit the big hit. He found the real jank play, and he didn't get anything out of it because the build's working against itself.
Well, we're moving now into the later stages of the mid game here. It's Snakeskin really that's maybe the opportunity now for London Conspiracy to really take control of this game back from Fnatic.
And they have that opportunity now because Bellona, third item, Heavy Hammer, now has Balance Blade. He has the kind of sticking to people power that he was lacking in the last couple fights. It looks like Suntouch is going to change his tune here and try to be even more aggressive in the mid game.
Shaggy Shank, he realizes he's in a bit of trouble. Rising Jaguars away as Badger comes into the lane. But yeah, with that tier 1 down on the right side, tier, he has an opportunity to rotate. Obviously, he'll lose his tier 1 if he does so, and Vamana stays, but could influence a fight enough, and the Gold Fury likely to be the next fight as she respawns on the map right about now.
Gold Fury, yeah, coming down. There she is. Left side, you can see Badger and Twig both kind of hanging out. Strangely, Twig dashes into mid lane. Is he going to attempt to make a play towards solo as the Gold Fury spawns? No, going to speed.
Yeah, it's speed buff. Speed buff and blue buff. Speed buff up, blue buff going to be coming back up in a moment. So
this is dangerous. I mean, that's kind of the rule of thumb, right? Gold Fury's up, you don't go on the solo side. You don't have time to anymore. So, but it doesn't look like London capitalized on the fact that they even saw her go to the right side and just walks away freely. Gets the speed buff, and it'll be a small gain.
Well, Book of Thoth is done, starting to get stacked up, and now, the ability to blink in and then use Zoe to get out is decent for Scylla, but it's kind of this situation in which they just don't have enough damage. They really need her to be a damage dealer, and all that gold invested into actives, while it may have prevented some deaths at the hands of the Poseidon, it definitely hurts their ability to pick off targets, which really is going to be instrumental in this game as they need to make space, time, and give farm to the Xbalanque.
Snakeskin's presence has actually stopped Maniac from doing the blue buff, even with Twig there. And he's just kind of, they're kind of just hand-holding here, just waiting a little bit. Nothing's really getting done or accomplished.
Yeah, it's the ability burst out of tier is so much more substantial than that comes out of Vamana, especially given the Fearless Chain. I mean, Vamana's Arm and Umbrella, which is one of the most absurd abilities in the entire game in terms of base damage. But
and it's instant.
It's nothing compared to a Fearless Chain.
Well, that's true, but the Fearless Chain, you have to get in there. You have to get all 3 hits for it to really be worth it. You have to somehow get to the front line without getting CC to death. And Vamana kind of just walks up and goes, hey, here's this kind of like mid-range attack that does a whole bunch of damage that I don't have to aim.
Crazy damage out of that ability, honestly.
It does a lot. And sometimes it surprises you of like, if he's even or ahead and you're like, I could probably take this, and he deals like half your health. And you're like, all right, well, I'm going to go back to the base.
So kind of lending to what we were saying was maybe Fnatic's strategy early on, Brandon, is the Jump of Isolation. You called it on Poseidon. And that shifting stands plus a whirlpool is going to be really a tremendous amount of control. And there's no wing wands even started on the side of London Conspiracy. Maybe going to be something that Bellona looks for next after Chin Sais are done now. Not going to have that sprint available. So maybe we'll need more to stick to targets here. Wing wand, potential option for the Bruiser.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's on Gab right now, but realistically, Reels can just go like Sands. That's gone now. Like, it's kind of like having an Athena taunt for Magi's. Like, you walk up and you go, no more of that.
Right.
I'll see you in 11 seconds or whatever absurd number this is, right?
Magi's Blessing versus Anubis is the saddest thing ever.
Or Tyr, or Nasha.
Yeah, Nasha's probably got the worst.
Because you're just like, I can't raw ult, and if I sash, I'll die.
Yeah, it's pretty much rocking a hard place there. Well, Gold Fury's being sniffed out by Fnatic, but already in position is Emilzy, ready to disrupt them if they try to get that bad boy started. And it's a little bit of a, oh my.
You know what this is?
Miss is what it is.
Oh, okay, Whirlpool, no, Gift Shield. So, people see this and think, oh my God, Europe is so campy. Oh my God, Europe is so slow. And it's not the truth. Granted, it might be what's happening, but that's not the nature. The nature is that Europe takes every single game so much more seriously than North America does. North America does test builds and trolls and does crazy nonsense with their rotations and tries to do jank plays. And Europe's like, I'm not going to fight because I don't have it exactly 100% chance to win this fight. Unlike right now.
Yeah, Desert Fury's coming out. They've got Xbalanque fairly low, but it's a nice Geb counter initiation to stop that pursuit. We saw the ultimate used by Scylla, not to much avail there. Real's not afraid to fight in that Bellona circle. No one dead just yet. Quite low is Arrow after that Kraken combination.
No, the title surge did the whole thing.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he took the Kraken and was kind of chilling. He was like half health. He's like, I can still fight. I'm Scylla. And then he took a title surge to like 10% of his health. He's like, I'm out.
Snakeskin, he's trying to zone out Maniac, who has rotated in and now used the ultimate as well.
It's a big baby.
Tyr's going to make his way to the backside. It's an Odysseus bow completed
for
the Babby
charge
as well.
Bow,
charge bow up and running. So he's getting those procs, not completed Odysseus bow yet. But it does force London Conspiracy to scatter.
The damage difference between Obo and
Oh,
Charge.
hey!
Oh, whoa, wait! What happened there? He was
Arrow.
supposed to be almost dead.
Blink factoring into that one. He goes back to the base, makes it back a little bit faster
Nice.
than Fnatic would have expected, and now the fight is turning back the way of London Conspiracy as they charge forward into the Fnatic jungle. They'll find at least one after zeros in the form of Maniac, and now, well, where's the call? Are they going to turn tail here and go back for that Gold Fury? Looks like the old Sun Touch maybe broke off a little bit more than he is going to be comfortable with, although that very low cooldown on the Bellona ultimate lets him bail himself out fairly well there, even with the Athena coming in. But here's Anhur, Fnatic. Reels is just sitting in wait for Snake's going to turn that corner, but now the Bellona passiv's going to fall off. The fight is happening. In the center there was Badger, who gets exploded even with the taunt. Geb Shield keeping Snake's alive for the moment. Reels trying to bail, but he may get run down here. Sun Touch, pinned out, and smacked down by Reels. Has enough of that, and now he's going to try to make the play as well into Shaggy Shank, who's going to dash away to safety. Extended, bloody, sloppy fight from both sides, but it ends up with a Gold Fury going the side of London Conspiracy. And they'll wrestle back the game to basically parity now in the gold department.
That right there was the one negative of heavy hammer, right? It's, I want to use the heavy hammer. And he's like, I don't want to Scourge because I'm not close enough to continue my heavy hammer rush. I won't get my passive online. So he doesn't use the Scourge. The issue here is that Anhur wouldn't have killed him if he was disarmed. He could have impaled, but it wouldn't have been the kill.
Right,
So-
yeah, needed that extra in hand.
Yeah, he needed the in-hand. And 3 seconds would have been a very long time for Reels to have to try to outplay in that situation. So Sun Touch getting a little bit greedy there, almost North American-esque, as we were just describing.
That's right, yeah. Yeah, you got that idea definitely of...
He is definitely a North American player.
The North American players tend to really value style.
Yeah,
for,
big
for,
time.
For lack of a better term or a more descriptive term perhaps, but style seems to be the name of the game.
It's always the stories you hear when you're a kid about the heroes and, you know, the people in the spotlight. And, you know, people who play video games at a pro level want to be that guy. You know, you want to be, you know, your Zatmans where you're running around doing the crazy combos, getting a quadra kill and entering and completing an entire tournament without dying. Everyone wants that, right? I mean, the issue is where do you draw the line? Right? When does it become a detriment to try to make the play every time? And for right there, Sun Touch kind of got caught out of position. He went for the big play, and he winds up losing for it.
Well, Brandon, we're a little bit of a lull now after that last fight. Both teams kind of getting back to their lanes. Kind of let's just get the laning phase going again, guys. That was way easier for all of us. Now we're looking at 9 kills in the first 24.5 minutes.
Well, except for Twig, who's really having a hard time clearing that wave.
Yeah, Twig, pretty under-leveled here, all things told, honestly, at level 17.
Well, I mean, it's Nemesis against Bellona, right? I mean, Bellona should even, at this point, be higher ahead. But I'm looking at Bellona opting for Chin size instead of Executioner here. A little bit curious with the tier on the team. You know, I figured the penetration plus the Fearless combo would have been bigger, but the Wing Blades are coming out, like you called, Bart. We got 1 on tier, we got 1 on Bell. Things are looking good.
Yeah, it's just a great mid-game item, especially against a team with so much slow, or just a game with so much slow in it. And yeah, as you mentioned, they're coming up on the side of London Conspiracy, although Nemesis does have a Wing Vaughn to her name as well. And, well, Odysseus Bow has been finished by the Vamana here.
There's a big difference.
The Sovereignty Heartward combination done for Athena, just the Sovereignty plus Wingblade for the Geb, so slight advantage in the Aura department for Fnatic as well. The next team fight, you know, look to see it. There's a couple of low HP characters getting out of this one. It could be thanks in part at least to that Heartward Amulet combination.
You know, there's a very large difference between Oboe and Charge Bow. Charge Bow only gives you like a little bit of base damage. I think it's like 20 or 25 per hit chain.
Super cheap.
As opposed to Odysseus Bow, which is 30 plus 50% of your damage. And right now, I mean, that's not going to be a huge amount. It's only going to be swinging for like 60, 64, I think about. You know, it's not huge, but it's much better than the 12 it was hitting before.
Sure. So remember, guys, if London Conspiracy is able to win this game and the next one, they secure their bid to the LAN. So they really have a lot on the line here. Fnatic as well. If they can just take a game off of London Conspiracy, they keep their hopes alive. 2 games puts them in. So both sides really playing for.
There's a lot of people voting against Fnatic today, right? I mean,
yeah, that's right.
So many more teams have an opportunity for LAN if Fnatic drops a 2-0.
Yeah, that's right. It's so like Titan, for example, needs basically 2-0s from everybody and them to 2-0 to have a chance in.
So awkward. But that's Titan's only chance. I mean, Titan has a really hard bracket to run, you know, this weekend. But I mean, LDNC. I mean, this is this is trouble, right? I mean, not only are they going up against one of the strongest teams in Europe, historically speaking, but they have to do it cleanly. I mean, trying to take 2 games on these guys is going to be impossible, let alone doing it without dropping a game loss.
Maniac, he's in a bit of trouble. 3 initiating onto him, but without any real substantial anti-heal on the side of London Conspiracy. It's going to be a run away from the large baby style
He
of fight.
walked back into the crush and just took like 300 damage. Eagle Rally going to hit 3. Really big there. Kraken not going to hit any. We're going to see Measly comes in and Arrow gets a big hit, but it's on to Badger.
That was a really poor Kraken out of zeros. Unfortunately, they aren't able to really do much of this fight because of it, and now the Snakeskin rotation to the backside is going to do a lot. Zeros does pick up that kill into a low HP Arrows with the Whirlpool. Gem of Isolation really helping out there. Here comes Shaggy Shank moving forward. Reels, you saw, get the big crit just a moment ago onto the Mage. Snakeskin's now in the backline. Shaggy Shank in a bit of trouble. Gem Shield is used on him, and that leaves Snakeskin out on an island by himself, but low HP values on Fnatic means they can't really heavily pursue this one. Where is Badger on his dash and taunt combination? Not going to have it up in time, and London Conspiracy, well, they're lucky that Poseidon didn't hit, considering how the rest of that fight went. They would have gotten really destroyed there. It shows you the relative strength of Fnatic as a 5-man squad versus London Conspiracy once all the initiation is blown.
Right there, Fnatic not only picks up a decent win with a 1-for-0, but they have a great bit to the Gold Fury. It doesn't look like Measly's even going to make the attempt. 1,500 gold to the coffers, free and easy. Call the banks, because we got our first lead of the game. That'll be a 3,000 gold lead. That'll be looks like a 3,000 experience lead almost as well. And Badger, very smartly, doesn't use Hand of the Gods. Saves it in case of a Fire Giant push.
Yeah, you can see the XP has been very heavily contested here. Fnatic was losing for the majority of this game. Now has really battled back fairly well here. After that especially after that last engagement, prior engagement, sorry, at the Gold Fury, where they lost pretty hard. In addition to losing the Gold Fury, they win. Really, a pretty sloppy fight again. These fights have been a little bit uncharacteristically sloppy for the squad so far.
Beads coming out from Poseidon. He took the Eagles rally and which forced him to dodge the Sikkim just barely. He doesn't take a lot of damage, still 5-5 here. It looks like he will be able to escape cleanly. Reels rotating back over, but his major lead doesn't really exist anymore. He had the level advantage. He still has a gold advantage, although it's not much, only about 800, and I definitely wouldn't be trying to box Xbalanque at this stage of the game.
I would have really loved to have seen maybe a Ra in place of the Scylla here. Especially considering the general build strategy and choices there is made, but
yeah,
I think that there's a lot of synergy between Ra and Bellona, especially. They both have those really short cooldowns on the ultimates. They synergize the ultimates very well together. Plus,
hey, more healing for Bellona.
That's right. That area denial on top of the kind of the passive from the flag. It seems to make a really difficult team fight situation for the enemy team. Here comes Captain Twig. He's going to go ahead and ult Arrow and force the leap out. Captain Twig trying to fight another Kraken, not really on the mark. Oh my goodness, Arrow just got erased by Reels. He was completely unchecked in the backline there, and is going to use Desert Fury to kind of seal the deal.
Twiggy, no.
No. You are Nemesis, buddy.
That's a free death.
Yeah, you're an assassin at the end of the day.
I mean, not only is Bellona going to be tanky, but she increases her movement speed as you attack her. She has a Geb on the team. She has movement abilities. I mean, there was just no universe in which he actually caught that kill. But Snakeskin, beautiful, opportunistic play to make sure he cleans up Twiggy's mistake there, make sure he blinks in perfectly, hits the Fearless spot on, and actually wins it, So that winds up being a 1-for-1 in a situation where it really shouldn't have been.
Yeah, but it's on her. It's Reels. I mean, how did he slip into the back line of that fight unchecked completely?
Yeah, the rotation from Shaggy was very slow. The rotation back from Shaggy seems to be very slow as well. He's going to lose maybe not a lot of gold or experience, but some.
Well, raid boss Vamana, he's starting to come together. Once he has this this bulwark or this pestilence completed, on top of that shield of the underworld,
yes,
it's pretty much no fight me time.
So for those of you who might have missed the strategy here in the past couple weeks, the general goal, Shield of the Underworld deals damage back to your attackers as they hit you during its uptime, and they cannot lifesteal from you as well, which is very important. Now, when Vamana's a big baby, right, the whole point is you hit him with healing reduction and then you try to kill him before he kills you. The issue is now if you attack this giant, angry baby, he's going to deal 40% of the damage back to you before mitigations. Then it will be mitigated on your end, so carries can't hit him anymore.
That's right, yeah. Only really bruisers can go toe-to-toe, and it's not really necessarily the greatest trade to have Snakeskin in-handing the Vamana while he's in his ultimate. So.
That's true.
It's definitely the old rock in the hard place build is kind of what it basically is. I'm going to have sprint 3, I'm going to be unable to be life-sold from, and I'm going to reflect damage like a crazy man.
This is, to me, one of the strategies in the game that just doesn't seem to have a counter.
Yeah.
Right? You build this build, and your only option is to kill him while killing yourself, right?
Well, yeah.
Or you can try to escape from the giant baby with sprints.
You'd maybe be looking for something like a Soul Reaver on the Scylla. Just explode him.
And the Geb.
And kind of just deal with it. Yeah, Geb would
Hack
be
the
best
game,
target.
put it on tier.
Yeah, now if you had a third one, then you'd really be in business.
We've seen
Yo,
that
look at Reels with the 12 wards, though. Turn up.
Really?
Yeah. Second highest warder in the game, top for his team.
Interesting.
What the hell is going on there?
And that's not even the support. In fact,
I'd be yelling at Poeng.
Yeah. Vamana, 12 as well. It's curious to see that Maniac has placed so many, considering he is just in an ungankable state.
That's right. Yeah, and they're not like they're going to be taking any Fire Giants anytime soon. I guess maybe with the Bellona, she's pretty damn decent at taking down Fire Giant in the early stage of the game. Could explain a little bit more about the ward coverage from Maniac.
But she hasn't built into lifesteal.
True.
Right? She has completely built into what seems like cooldown reduction. She has some attack speed, but with the way that Scourge works after the nerfs, she's not going to be able to tank it cleanly. I mean, she'll get pretty close though. She does have, it looks like, a 1.94 attack speed, so she'll be swinging.
So what are you building? I mean, so it's starting to get a little like running out of slots basically is London Conspiracy here.
Yeah, and nothing's getting solved.
That's right. So what do you do if you're Snakeskin? Like, what is your sixth item here? You've bought essentially every hybrid item in the game so far. Is it just Cloak of Concentration or a Hide of the Urchin or something like that to kind of just go along with the same build, or you think he's looking for some kind of damage-oriented item here?
I mean, the issue is, like, if I'm a monster doesn't hit and Xbalanque isn't protected, I mean, the game is just over.
That's right.
So Tyr needs to have some kind of balance, and he doesn't have a lot of damage. I mean, you're getting a little bit from Jotuns, you're getting a little bit from Warrior Tabby,
Looks
but
like
I mean,
it'll be a Shifters.
I mean,
it's either a Shifters or an Ankeel here that he started up.
no, and Chile's in the other one.
That's right, it is in there. So it's really unlikely this is a Void Blade.
I mean, Void
Shield, I guess?
Shield wouldn't be too bad, considering he would be increasing the damage of Xbalanque.
Helps out a bit against a Vamana, I guess, with that aura, but
Here's what we should see. Void Shield, I think, would be a great pickup. Bellona sells something, get Soul Eater, and just protect Xbalanque. Play the 4 protect 1 strategy that Cloud9 destroyed with last week.
I absolutely adore the Soul Eater, especially in a situation like this where it's just going to add additional power to your
Items OP.
Xbalanque. And the life steal. He won't need to buy anything. In fact, could even sell his Devourer's Gloves for something like a Titan's Bane on top of a triple crit, right?
Yeah.
If need be, with a Soul Eater picked up on Bellona, although she would have to stick pretty close to him, couldn't really do necessarily what she wants to do and dive into the backlines. We did see Captain Twig kind of discouraging London Conspiracy from really being able to contest that Gold Fury, and it does go cleanly to Fnatic. 6 kills apiece here at 34 minutes, 30 seconds, and the advantage about 5K towards the side of Fnatic. So the boys in yellow and black are, well, they're quite a bit ahead here. But this one looks like, we could be going a little late here. I'm going to be honest with you. Neither team is really exceptionally good at sieging, and both teams are pretty good at turtling, although advantage towards the side of Fnatic in that category. But Crush at this stage in the game is perfectly capable of clearing waves from
I was
a safe
actually
distance.
looking more towards Bellona, because if someone sieges a tower with Bellona there, she can just Eagles rally, right? And just like, you're stunned here, you'll take some damage, and my team has a bunch of protection, so let's fight.
Yeah, good old Bellona. But she doesn't clear minions that fast. So
No, she
with an
doesn't.
Anhur hitting as fast and rapidly as he is, even one wave is going to be sufficient to take down the tower.
But how do you get Scylla away from it, right?
That's right. That's kind of so a gank on Scylla could very well lead to some structures on the side of Fnatic.
For me, it's going to come down to Baby, right? It's coming down to Maniac. He popped the, get into the ult, pop the shield to the underworld, run them down, force them away from it, and let Reels do the job. And then it's up to London to, no. They see you doing that.
Well, here comes the baby. Fire Giant down to a robust
Oh, they're
85% of his
committing to
HP,
this.
and they're staying in for now at least, even though they see Maniac and Badger here and now come out the mud puddles and they're going to try to disengage. Twig, he's in an awkward spot. He's going to take a lot of damage. That shield is late, buddy. Should have got that out for your beads, and now it's Suntouch on the chase, trying to make it happen for himself.
You can't box Bellona.
Yeah, and you saw the big crit coming out of Suntouch as Maniac rotates in along with Reels. Reels' positioning has just been excellent so far. Look where he is. He's just got a great angle to take anybody trying to make their way out of the camp there. Desert Fury comes out to pick up the kill, onto the Geb. It is a 1-for-0 trade so far around the Fire Giant, but it's a Mealsy that goes down. Most importantly, the tank for London Conspiracy is gone bye-bye, and now Fnatic has the big Hog 3 advantage.
Maniac throwing out an Umbrella Ring there just to keep Suntouch locked down. He's disarmed, he's slowed, he's fearless, he's power cleaved, and he's out of there.
And he's Vamana. So he's going to run away. I'm perfectly happy doing it. Reels, Snakeskin juking a lot of his in-hands there. A little bit disappointing, I'm sure, for him. There is the removal of the Magi's Blessing. Where will the follow-up happen? It's Beads leap for Reals, but stuck in the ultra slow as Snakeskin. He's gonna get chunked out, and Zeros bursts him down with a Doom Orb. Here comes down a monster. He does a lot of damage. He's a second. He's gonna have a third arrow with a triple kill, but he's gone down already. It's Shaggy Shank cleaning house here. Zeros is disarmed and blown up by Xbalanque. It's gonna be a fire giant for London Conspiracy if they want it.
Why aren't they doing it? Why aren't they doing
Shaggy
it?
Shank could solo it at this point in the game.
Oh, no.
Oh.
They should have time, though. I mean, they got like 40 seconds, but there was realistically no reason for them not to just do that. Bellona would have kept herself alive. Shaggy Shank would have healed up, but still, Shaggy, this is what I'm saying, right? Fnatic had the lead the whole time, and they're just letting them get to late game. And now they started playing that 4 Protect 1 strategy. They focused on Snakeskin. They focused on, you know, Arrow. And then Xbalanque comes around and kills somebody in 2 hits, and you're like, well, damn, forgot about him.
Arrow cast I'm a Monster in the same spot twice and got 3 kills.
That's true.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's on the back of Fnatic there. Like you got hit by I'm a Monster twice in the same spot. Like they just kept on piling and trying to burn him down, thinking that they had a big enough advantage. But and also maybe a little bit of how weak Arrow's early game was in terms of damage. They didn't respect the I'm a Monster, but now with the Book of Thoth plus the Obsidian Shard in that fight, he just exploded people. Plus 1 in hand from Xbalanque is damn near enough to get them into execute range. So all things told, London Conspiracy somehow get away with that team fight, even though it lasted for so long and their frontliners all went down. They still managed to pick it up with just the Scylla and the Xbalanque.
So right there, Emilzy dodges all the Magma Blasts, you know, doesn't take some damage from the mud, didn't really care, right? And then just dodged some shots and took some hits because he knew he was going to back, and waited there long enough to make sure everyone on his team got the Fire Giant. So Arrow got it, right? Shaggy Shank got it, Sun Touch, Snakeskin. I mean, everyone ready to fight at this point. Now, they have a decent advantage here with the Fire Giant, but they don't have the gold or experience leads. Although, the experience at this point is really just Badger has 1 level over Emilzy.
Yeah, it's
So Preemptive Strike will do
essential.
a little bit more damage than Rollout if Rollout isn't max.
So it is the Void Stone.
Or Void Shield.
Or Void Shield, sorry.
Yes.
They're all stones to me.
So that's good. I mean, anything that's going to increase Xbalanque's damage at this point is a damn good idea.
I'm on the Soul Eater train, though. All aboard. Woo, woo. Where's it at?
I mean, that's really more of a Bellona item, right? 25% lifesteal. That's
Absolutely.
an item, that's an item that she wants.
But, I mean, it has a home on the tier as well. But the problem is both of them really want to be frontline initiators. They're not going to be hanging back next to that Xbalanque. So maybe it is ultimately the Geb that needs to pick it up.
It has power on it.
Does it have, oh, it does have power.
Yeah, it has power,
right.
and the aura won't allow it to happen.
That's right, because of the aura granting the power. I was like, it doesn't have any power on it, so she should be able to pick it up. But no, it is a physical-only item at the end of the day. Even though it doesn't directly grant power, it indirectly does it, so.
That's right.
Limited.
Left side tier 2 cleanly getting taken there. Gold Fury available as well in case they do need to retreat, and they're going to push right in. Twig taking some damage, but answering back quickly. Emilzy has put himself in a bad spot. Oh, but Zeros again with this ultimate.
A little bit off the mark again there, but Snakeskin's going to go down now. It's a double kill for Maniac, and he is still on
Shielding
the
the
hunt.
Underworld, still up.
There's an Athena coming through now. He's going to try to bail as they're fighting into the Xbalanque. You can see how much damage that Poseidon is doing. Reals trying to chip away at the edges, staying safe behind his pillar. Will be able to do so. If Fnatic stall out that Fire Giant push from London Conspiracy, they don't really get anything out of it.
You know what, that was, Emilzy walks in, you know, after the rest of the team, but the rest of the team commits to a completely different target, and 3 people just rush him down. Without the hand 3 here, I don't know if they're going to have an opportunity.
This could turn the game if they get caught in a big taunt.
Wait, they should be doing this. Yeah, they're going to take it.
They're going to leave it to Fnatic, and Fnatic's going to pick up the gold Fury really easily here.
I like
One thing
that.
I do want to point out is this double Odysseus bow on the side of Fnatic here. And in addition to that retribution damage coming out of, or the shield damage, the return damage from Captain Twig, plus the Shield of the Underworld return damage from Vamana, it's a lot of spread damage. It's just a tremendous amount of spread damage, in fact, for what we normally would see in Smite out of in-handers.
It's Maniac's Oboe's hitting for 80. Captain Twig's hitting for 95. Of course, these values will be mitigated. So look for about 70 chains from 2 different people. So 140 per team fight.
Yeah, plus Underworld, plus Reflection from Nemesis. I mean, both of these targets are dealing a lot more AoE damage than you would expect.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to be very, very hard to deal with. They got Fist of the Gods as well. You know, they have sprints, they have beads. I mean, this is going to be a troublesome spot. I mean, London, you know, definitely a temperamental team. It's going to be hard for them to shake the fact that they just lost an engagement with Fire Giant.
So Poseidon, it's going to be a winged one. Wait, no, it's not. It's going to be a Fatalis.
Yeah, I love it.
I love it, too.
I absolutely adore it.
I just was going to say, I was like, it's going to be a winged one, but man, I would love it for me to Fatalis, but then I realized it is a Fatalis that he's building.
And he already has Spear, remember?
Yeah, and he's got the Spear already, so those...
Trident.
Trident's going to crush.
I would love to see Demon.
Oh, Badger, why did you taunt there? Your whole team was falling back. Miscommunication on the side of Fnatic leads to the initiation from London Conspiracy. They're going to try to burst down the tank of the backline, but down goes Sun Touch. You got nothing, Sun. Reels the X crushing Snakeskin now as he tries to ult out of here, but Maniac still on the mark. Desert Fury still not used. Yes, it was used there. I'm sorry for Reels. Captain Twig dashing forward, needs to find the slow. They have the Athena available. The leap was used by Anhur. They're going to be able to get the taunt potentially. No, it's the combat blink from Arrow. Uses that big cooldown to get himself out of danger for now. But momentum back to the side of Fnatic. They're going to check the Fire Giant side. They're going to take these tier 1s, try to capitalize on this. They're hunting the jungle now. Double warding the orange, because why the hell not? 42 minutes in, it's 13-11, and Fnatic has once again taken hold of this game. London Conspiracy on the ropes.
This is trouble for London, right? Remember, they must win 2-0 to like really have their bid for the LAN. And in this situation, Fnatic is just fighting back every single time, really overestimating his place as Bellona at this stage of the game. You know, I talked about it early. You can't be in Scourge stance in endgame. It's just, you're going to get blown up. You must be in shield stance, and you must be stacking it as fast as possible. If he had a few more block stacks, there was a chance he could have lived there, but he got aggressive. He looked to be a playmaker again, and for the third time this game, he's been caught out of position.
Could also, I mean, this would have been a great candidate game for a Witchblade. Even though it doesn't prevent or give you that bonus movement speed here.
Hell yes.
He needs physical protection. Bad.
That
like
and
real bad.
Attack speed matters to every single one of these players.
That's right. And so the issue here is that you saw he gets to the back lines, but with only that cloak to really be any kind of damage deterrent, he just doesn't have enough physical protection. Got exploded by Reels. Well, they're going to lose Maniac forward at least in the moment. Fire Giant does go down now, and it's going to be the 4v5.
That's trouble.
Fnatic trying to bail zeros. He doesn't even get any spells off before he goes down. Twig, full-on retreat, as is Badger. Luckily for them, Reels survives. He'll be able to stall the push for a bit and at least be a danger. Shaggy Shank unable to chase him down, and Reels not in this fight, though. Tier 2 right side looking to fall from London Conspiracy, who counter-initiated really well there. Once Maniac went down, the Fnatic lineup just absolutely crumbled.
I mean, that's the issue, right? Once Maniac is down, they don't have the 4 protect 1 strategy. They don't really have a hyper carry. They're working as a unit. And when Zeros doesn't get the big ult off and Maniac doesn't get his ult off at all, I mean, there's really nothing you can do. Nemesis is not running through 5 people. It's just not happening.
Winner of this matchup keeps their LAN hopes alive, even clinching the LAN berth if it's a 2-0 in either direction. So you can tell how much is on the line for these teams. This game has been crazy back and forth so far. 44 minutes, 20 seconds in. Fighting behind the tier 2. You boys, you can't hit that Phoenix yet. You got to take that tower, and they will capitulate and go ahead and take it down, although they really wanted to fight that Phoenix before they could deal damage to it. That should be the end of the push there, as they are getting a bit low, and they've got a lot out of what they came for. They got 2 tier 2s and a Phoenix on the right side. Once again, it's London Conspiracy now that have got bounced back off the ropes. A little rope-a-dope against Fnatic there and have the lead. But Fnatic, they're going to have some room to farm as London Conspiracy is forced to go back to the base. And, well, we'll be able to maybe recoup here. Still a Fire Giant buff active on 3 for another couple of minutes.
Yeah, they lost some gold there, but again, they still have the Fire Giant available, which means structure damage. They should be able to just rush this down. I mean, plain and simple. Between Captain Twig and Maniac and Reels, I mean, they should have no trouble just going into a tower with that big baby ult and just burning it down. 45
minutes in, and, you know, the last time we saw a game go this long, it was that Cloud9 versus TSM game, I think, in week 2. And it was completely different than this. It wasn't this kind of back-and-forth game. It was more just a lot of farm and a slower-paced late game than this. This has been pretty frenetic and really, really back and forth. And, well, all of the gods are now 6-slotted or damn near it with a rank 2 item in their 6th slot. Scylla's going to have a Soul Reaver as her final item, which, as we mentioned, really will help the team out quite a bit. Ickfile still up and running on on the Xbalanque. That'll be next to go. As you see on the side of Reels, it is the triple crit build. Malice has come out as well now, so single in-hand from Anhur is really getting close to having kill potential against some of the weaker targets.
So I'm going to change my mind a little bit. I said previously that I loved the Fatalis. Honestly, I think he should sell it and just get Magi's.
Well, considering how fast he died in that last engagement, how is he really going to run people down with Tridents?
It's just not going to happen. Wingblade or Magi's will be just so much better. Right? Because the only issue at this point is defense. He already has the sprint. Why are you getting Fatalis and sprint?
I just get a stone a guy at this point. The only thing that's really dangerous for him is going to be burst.
There.
I mean, or just a high HP item to deal with the crits. Captain Twig is trying to fight Shaggy Shank, but Shaggy Shank throwing in the in-hands. He's going to go down though to Maniac. Did not see him on the backside there. Let's go back into the fight underneath the tier 2 here where Badger's been called out a bit. The ultimate from Sun Touch over the top of the Amamazma. Reels is going to stand his ground and fight versus Snakeskin. The Athena ultimate mitigating a lot of damage, but down still goes the Lion. And that is going to be a difficult fight now for Maniac to find any more kills. Arrow's going to dash away, but here comes Badger. Taunt is there, on to 2. There's a slow from Maniac, the cripple from the Whirlpool as well. Emilzy body blocked out, knocked up, and down you go. It's going to be the tier 2 now going back the way of Fnatic. And, well, if I'm them here, I'm trying to take all 3 of these tier 2s. I'm not sure if they can really break the base that well versus 2. Snakeskin can still blink to the backline and find some of these half HP targets. Arrow has the opportunity to do a lot here if he can find the damage. Snakeskin, Magi's removed, finds the cripple, finds the crush. May go down though, no, forced out of this fight. You see just how fast he can melt to that Vamana. With a mid-Phoenix down now, 2 tiers remaining. Being pinged out on the left side is London Conspiracy's tier 2, and Fnatic's gonna try to make their way over there. Maybe a little recall baiting as well on the way.
Phoenix for Phoenix, but remember, right side Phoenix has been down a while, and Fire Minions will break the base here. Vamana will be forced to back to keep things safe. But the Titan took some decent damage there. It looks about 20% at very least.
Yeah, Titan down to about 78% HP now, as it does get cleaned up by the rest of Fnatic there. So they make a successful campaign. They are unable to get those remaining tier 2s and really get a big gold advantage. Not that it really matters, as we already mentioned. It's 6 slots around the board, and there goes the Fatalis. Get that out of here. It's a Soul Reaver for Poseidon. So
I'm all right with that,
Fatalis, a little bit of a bridge item there. Didn't really get anything going for him, but he is now into that Soul Reaver, and this is where, like, the theory crafting potential of these teams comes into play. When everybody is 6 slotted, are we going to see items like the Soul Reaver come out to give, or that Soul Eater, I'm sorry, to give you that little bit of additional edge on your carries? Other notable items like the Void Stone. You already have the Void Shield available on the tier, so more auras, more kind of stacking interactions for your carries here are something to look at for sure.
Fire Giant coming up 10 seconds. Looking at the Anhur build, we do have Malice.
Yeah, he's triple crit. He was in that last fight too.
It's a weird build, right? Because you're investing a lot into crits, but he has basically no attack speed at this stage. I mean, he's 1.57 compared to Xbalanque, you know, less crits, but he's 1.81, and he does have the 50%, or I'm sorry, the 50 damage increase.
Yeah, the difference is the Ick file. You would expect Xbalanque will be selling off his Ick file for a luxury item at some point here, like Reels.
With that build,
They're going deep on Reels here. Sun Touch. I'm not sure exactly what he was trying for there. And he also scourged the CC immune target, and Reels beads were active there. So really, honestly, throwing away his life with Sun Touch, no follow-up. And now it's all up to Captain Twig and Maniac. And they're gonna ult forward with the Athena ultimate out on a Twig. He's gonna go down, but not before it gives a great positioning advantage to Maniac, who's crushing with the Chain Lightning. Taunt comes back in. They want to kill Snakeskin. You know, I'm not sure that they need to kill Snakeskin. They want to, but yeah, what a cripple there. That's sick to hold him in place and prevent even another clear the path, although I believe it was on cooldown. Good news also for Fnatic is their right side Phoenix has come back up during this engagement, so they're not really in any danger of taking more damage to the base.
They only have 3 fire minions in that lane as well. There's 3 archers. The rest are normal minions, and it looks like Maniac will rotate over. Nope.
Nope, none of that.
No, he didn't.
No, he's had enough. He's going to go right for the Fire Giant where Zeros and Badger are reinitiating. Badger taking damage. Looks like it was a Soul Reaver proc as well out of that Scylla. No, it wasn't. That's still on cooldown. Both Soul Reavers will be available for the next fight, though. Magic's Blessing's coming back online as well. Reel's doing a little bit of boxing and juking here. Maniac will turn tail and clear out the right side, though.
Luckily for him, because that was a dead Phoenix if he didn't go back.
Yeah, so he will pick that up and now likely look to push out the next wave as well. But that's a pretty easy lane to maintain sitting right next to the Fire Giant anyway.
50 minutes.
50 minutes.
That's
a long Smite game.
I think this is the longest in Season 2.
How long did that Cloud9 TSM game go?
It's pretty long.
I think it was a little over 50. I don't think we've had a single game break an hour, though, yet. Who even knows if the UI can handle games that go longer than an hour?
They can. I've seen it. They can. Bart.
You've been there?
Bart. It's not a joke. I think that was back in the me and Dry Bear weeklies from our house with the green screen days.
Oh, yeah? Oh, I remember that game. Yeah.
Oh, that life.
That life. That early EU morning.
Oh, man. Poor Dry Bear.
Nah, he's all right. He got a job out of
it. 51 minutes, 2 kills separate the team. We've had 32 kills in 51 minutes, not including the pregame startup time. And this has been a very long road for Fnatic and London, a very up and down game, both fighting for their chance to attend the Spring LAN, which is going to be pretty exciting.
Hey, look at Bellona, dude. That's a hide anemia line. That's not going to be doing much for you. Although I do love the idea of getting physical protection at this stage in the game.
I mean, well, Nemesis, I mean, they have...
I guess it is the highest single physical protection item in the game, so...
Oh, Twig, Jesus.
Look at Reels. He's getting smacked around, and this time Sun Touch's campaign actually works out for him. But now here comes a counter initiation from Fnatic. Athena Ultimate's going to the front line. It looks like, no, it is right down on top of Poseidon there. And
Arrow, you got to chill, fam.
well, what
you
are they
need to
going to
get
do?
out of that.
Uh-oh, it's Shaggy Shank going toe-to-toe with Twig. Twig, I don't think you really know what's going on here, buddy.
Maniac is getting absolutely manhandled.
Everyone was in that
Oh,
fight.
Snakeskin's not done yet. Check this out. Arrow dives over the wall. Why is no one killing the Scylla?
Well, the reason no one's killing the Scylla is because they were too busy in the back line
Oh, my God.
just throwing bodies at Shaggy Shank, who ends up killing everybody.
Is this
Nemesis
over?
went toe-to-toe, the Zeros went toe-to-toe with them, and Reels, all 3 die.
Nemesis can't fight this. Nemesis doesn't have beat. She will be disarmed and killed.
My, oh my. But the good news is Emilzy is fairly low. They may not have a great option to tank. Oh, wait, no, they have
Twig,
a
you got to dip.
Twig,
Twig, you got to get out of here, buddy.
Twig, what you going to do? Then you remember that right side Phoenix is quite low as well after the last engagement. They'll be able to clean that one up really, really quickly, but they're going to go for the blood here. Or as old driver say, the lethal. Was it lethal? Is that what it was? But Titan, it's starting to fall, dude. And down it goes.
Wow.
London Conspiracy takes game 1. Believe the conspiracy.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. They won. We just watched it.
Well, you did. You don't know what I was doing.
That's true. I
You-
wasn't looking. Rip.
I'm out of here. Speaking of out of here, London Conspiracy isn't.
They aren't. No, they keep their land hopes alive. They need one more win now over Fnatic in 2 straight games to take this bad boy. But let's rewind this one back about an hour ago to when we had first blood.
It wasn't even an hour ago. That's the worst part.
That's right, yeah, it was about 11 and a half minutes in, and there you kind of saw it. It was Captain Twig picking up that kill onto Emilzy with the ultimate.
But then immediately gets
plus,
traded back
plus,
out.
But yeah, then it gets traded right back on her, leaps out of that one. He actually beads there early. It seemed like Reels wasn't perfectly comfortable with fighting Bellona.
Yeah.
A lot of times he beads the disarm just to leap.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it was kind of like, wait, that's not a cripple. Damn it.
It's not a silence either.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a new mechanic. It's a new god to a lot of the pro players, so there's going to be some learning curves. But for me, Bellona didn't have any effect in that game.
No, it didn't seem to have a really big impact in any way.
I didn't see Bellona. I saw Hunbots.
The Nemesis was.
That was Hunbots to me all game.
It actually felt a lot, yeah, Hunbots, Arachne, Nemesis style play, like just get to the back lines and kind of assassinate.
But we did see Scylla. That wasn't another mage. That wasn't Kronos.
Yes.
That was Arrow playing some of the best Scylla we've seen probably since launch, or rather since
Yeah,
Worlds.
even with such a weak early game, really makes a lot out of it in the mid and the late game. And a lot of that, this game, as you saw, it goes so late. A lot of that comes down to what you see here. It was just such an even game in terms of farm. Mid camps were slightly in favor of Fnatic, and that's what we saw a lot of that gold experience or gold lead come from through the later stages of the early game. But overall, even with 5 out of 6 gold Furies, it's not enough for Fnatic to pick up the win, and that's really a pretty surprising statistic that it was that one-sided on that big map objective that. So often players will say this objective, has too much of an impact on the game. Well, here we're kind of seeing the opposite.
Yeah, what had an impact in that game was hand-holding and kissing and smooches.
Okay.
No.
Elaborate.
No grouping up, right?
Okay.
Player of the game, why is it going to be Arrow? Because they were
grouped up?
smooching and hand-holding and kissing, and he's like, I don't care about those
I
things.
just love, and you're
I'm
going to
a
see it.
monster.
You're going to see it in his highlight reel, but at the Fire Giant, he ults in place twice and gets 3 kills out. I mean, like
Is
it
this
makes
it?
it
I
makes
think
no
this is
sense.
it.
It's this, yeah. There's the Bellona taunt, and then he just does it again in the same spot.
He
It's
even
like,
turns. He's like, nah, I like the first spot.
yeah,
I'm
and
gonna
then
run this back.
then it's the Xbalanque show. Whack, whack, whack. I mean, you got a 730 followed by an 830 crit. There's not much you can do about that one as an old
I think
Poseidon.
I yelled during that part because I just didn't have any words.
No
left.
words?
There's no words. Yeah, one of those. I think this is actually towards the end of the game.
Yeah.
We're going to watch Arrow. Now, he has a pretty good play here, but then
It's like, wait.
Maniac just
wait,
comes to the back line and
wait.
starts chasing everyone, right?
Wait.
And then he goes to get away, and he gets slowed, and then she turns around and just nails him.
Yeah, that was a big play there. Securing the kill on that Vamana really ends up maybe leading to their victory here. Their ability, I mean,
Did you
this
see that?
follow-up as well onto the Poseidon.
Beads for cooldown,
Badger.
combat blink aggressively
Yeah.
to get the Sikkim.
Yeah,
Arrow.
he played that exceptionally well today, Arrow. Even though, I mean, actually, let's separate that. He played the last 30 minutes of the game really well.
Yes, he
the
did.
first 30 minutes, he had no impact.
Right. I mean, his Armor Monsters weren't doing damage. The build was fighting itself. But then he got into Scylla stance, and it was just like, look at me.
Did it.
I'll take some damage and kills and all these things.
And as you just saw, Scylla, she can win you some games. And, well, there's Cog Scylla available from the World Championship, where MLC Stealth piloted this god to ultimately take out Titan and win the World Championship.
For like $1 bajillion.
For $1 bajillion, and you can also own that skin. $1 of every skin bought will go to the upcoming Cognitive International here in North America. So get on that train if you want to be a part of it. That does do it for coverage of game number 1, though, here from the coverage desk in Atlanta, Georgia. We'll be back with game number 2 in just about 5 minutes, guys. Don't go anywhere. Can London Conspiracy close it out versus Fnatic and secure their spot in LAN, or will we be going to a game 3 and a whole lot of weird tie-breaking scenarios? We'll find out in just about 5 minutes, guys. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.